Jesus freak here. So, I'm monitoring the situation regarding the SNAP program. Obviously, someone who's on food stamps is going to be concerned about whether they're getting their food stamps or not. As long as I pace myself, and that's the key. As long as I pace myself, I'll make it through this month just fine. I even got the means to make myself a little Thanksgiving dinner. This is a result of preparation and careful planning that allowed me to take a hit I wouldn't have normally been able to take. I'm only partially prepared for it, but if you have almost $300 of your budget ripped out from under you without much notice, there's not a lot you can do. Fortunately, that money can only be used for food. It won't work if you try to use it for something else. So, it just means I have to redirect my cash to it. But since I've already bought about $80 worth of groceries, and since I have a fairly well-stocked pantry, I'm going to weather this. As long as, it doesn't wind up going on past Christmas. I think, Merle Haggard's got it. If we make it through December, we'll be fine. So, does mean that I have to take it a lot easier than I usually do. Most days I'm eating 2 decent meals. And now I'm mainly going for 1 passable. I have some stuff set aside I can still have a decent meal now and then. So I can weather it. See, hear this rumor. Like, a lot of this meme of, poor people can't be responsible with money. It's not a poor people thing. That's a mindset thing. You'll find middle class people that are in hock up to their eyeballs. And you'll find people like me, the most I'm in debt is maybe a couple months on my insurance payments, because that's how the system's structured. It's designed so you just pay it that way. But it's technically a loan. That's the most I have to deal with any sort of debt. So being in hock isn't really a problem for me. Like I said, there's people a lot richer than me that are a lot further in debt because they can't control their spending. But I've never had a problem with that. People saying, "Oh, you should get a credit card. You should keep keep a balance on it and always pay for her stuff with credit cards." Are you a lunatic? I don't believe in credit cards. If I ain't got enough money to pay it up front, I ain't got enough money for it. That's why I don't have financial problems except for situations like this, because I rely on government benefits because I'm disabled. Well, I don't like to say disabled, handicapped. There's a lot of people disagree on the terms. I prefer handicapped because it gives the implication that it's a problem, but it just slows me down. Disabled seems to be stronger. But, the government agrees that I'm unemployable. Their doctors check me out. They don't take my doctor's word for it. So, what do I think is going to happen? I don't know. The possibilities range from Donald Trump fighting things all the way to the Supreme Court to be able to stiff us out of our food stamps. Remember, the allocation of money is the House of Representatives' responsibility, not his. And he's infamous for stiffing people. I mean, that's his modus operandi. That's what he does. The next possibility is the states that sued him, and remember, not all these are blue states. There's a couple red states in there too. But the states that sued him and the USDA managed to get at least something, but not the whole shebang. Well, then we make do with what we got. Third possibility is USDA says uncle. Good. Fourth possibility is this whole fiasco gets dealt with. Again, good. Now, if I get late food stamps, I've already bought a bit of food. So I'll probably use them some other way. On food, of course. I don't need to be selling my food stamps for anything. I do fine on what I got. But if I do get them this month, then first I'll, stop trying to ration my food. And I'll probably stock up on a few things. Maybe some of it would be considered wasteful. Some people might say, what do you need better than bouillon for when you can just get cubes? Well, because it's better than bouillon. Stuff like that, you know? And maybe I'd be able to treat myself to something. We'll see. You see, there's been people for years trying to get the government to go back to sending boxes instead of just giving us money to spend on food. You see, I can give you a few reasons against that. For example, from the left, you'd say, well, what about people with allergies, intolerances, special needs, religious qualms? What are you going to do about those? You can't really do a one-size-fits-all thing. And here's a potential objection that could come from the right. If someone were to actually think it out instead of just knee-jerk reacting, say, well, administering a program to give food to the poor where you're buying the food and shipping it out or somehow getting it directly to them instead of just giving them the money actually requires significantly more administrative fees, significantly more costs to, for example, warehouse the food, to transport it. This way, they can just get what's already available to them. As it is, you already have problems with poor shaming. And food stamp recipients. Less of a problem given that it's a debit card, but it's still a debit card that people can recognize as a food stamp card right away. It's actually more financially efficient to run the program the way it's being run now than to just give boxes, select food every so often to households on food stamps. Anyway, Jesus freak out.